I can't switch from my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and you probably can too. If you are excited, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, let's talk about why the iPhone 16 Pro Max is unreplaceable, has my main phone, and what are the main reasons for most people enjoying iPhones and not leaving the Apple ecosystem. If you are excited, let's get started. I've been using the iPhone 16 Pro Max for the last 6 months, let's just say that. And this has been my main flagship phone in that entire time. Except on the last 2 weeks. I've bought the Samsung S25 Ultra when it was launched, and I've used that phone for 2 weeks as my main device. But now, I returned it. Not because the Samsung S25 Ultra is not an amazing phone. It is not. That phone is incredible. The hardware is amazing. The AI capabilities are insane. But why did I return the Samsung S25 Ultra and I kept my iPhone 16 Pro Max? And what was my review in the last 6 months? Well, first, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is in my opinion the most complete phone. Although the Samsung S25 Ultra has the better screen and it has better AI capabilities, the overall experience with the iPhone 16 Pro Max is more seamless. It's better, in my opinion. Simply because of iOS and all of its perks and features, and of course all the optimization behind the software system. So if you currently own an iPhone, you know what I'm talking about. You know how easy it is to use social media, to use every app available on the App Store. There's no bugs, there's no clunky business, there's no hidden things. Everything is plain simple to use on iOS. And bugs, sometimes they appear, but they are very rare. And of course, everything is very, very stable. While with Android phones, they are very, very fast, they are very, very powerful, but they are a bit more polarized. So every app is sometimes a bit more unstable. The videos don't work as good. The quality and the optimization that each phone requires is not there. So imagine that you are building an app for a phone. Well, for the iPhone it's easy. You have 3-4 iPhones that you need to build to. While if you are building an app to Android phones, then you have hundreds of them. So it's much more difficult to optimize that app to run on every single phone. So it's easy to build apps for iOS than it is to build apps for Android. And that's the first reason, the App Store and all of its ecosystem. It's so easy to think about the fact that, oh, do you learn about that app, that it's amazing, it's crazy, and you know, oh yeah, that's a great app. Let me search for it. You go into the App Store, you search and you type that app, and you find it because it's available on the App Store. Most relevant apps are available on the App Store. And yeah, that's a big, big thing. And because all of the apps that are available on the App Store need to be really well optimized for the iPhone, then the overall experience is so much better. So the app experience, the App Store, and the ease of use are simply the biggest reasons that I'm keeping my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Again, this phone is so easy to use, so seamless, and the App Store and the overall Apple ecosystem behind it is simply one of the biggest reasons. The second biggest reason is depreciation. This iPhone does not depreciate as fast as a Samsung phone or an Android phone. Imagine, I bought this phone 6 months ago. So I bought it for around $1,300, $1,400 in my country, and currently it's probably worth around $1,000, $1,100 if I sell it as a third party. But if you buy a Samsung S25 Ultra, and I did this, and I searched on the third-party market for a Samsung S25 Ultra, brand new, like 2 weeks old, the prices had already dropped like to $1,000, and it costed me around $1,300 to $1,400. I think it was more. It was like $1,500. So yeah, a depreciation of like $500 right off the blue, which is huge, a huge thing. I'm selling my old iPhones. I buy the new one and I sell the old one. And this is very important for me to keep the value of the phone for as long as possible. And this iPhone, I'm for sure know that in about 6 months when I decide to actually sell it and buy the new one, I will be able to recuperate most of the cost of this iPhone. So the iPhone's not depreciation is a big, big thing for me to keep this iPhone. It's one of the biggest reasons, and it's something that I can't simply switch from. So the iPhone holding its value for longer, it's a good thing. The Apple ecosystem, and there's more to come. But before I talk about the rest, I want to tell you that although the Samsung S25 Ultra has a better screen, it probably has some better hardware too, this iPhone performed really, really well. This is one of the most stable iPhones in a long time. I've had no issues in terms of thermally throttling, have no issues with any type of defect, had no problems with durability, the screen is amazing still, the titanium sides are still brand new, although I've used this phone mostly without a case, and the camera lenses are also brand new, no durability issues there. The camera app works flawlessly, no bugs, no missing problems there that require me to do some things. No issues with iOS, very, very stable actually. This iOS 18 version. Loved USB-C. USB-C was one of the biggest reasons for me to switch to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I actually realized that it's also a big reason for me to keep using the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I love USB-C. I love the fact that I can record videos with my iPhone and transfer them to my computer via USB-C really, really fast. I love the fact that I can charge this iPhone with my computer cable and my iPad cable. I love the fact that it's a universal port and it's so fast to charge and so fast to actually pass around footage and data. One thing that I also love on the iPhone, and it was not present on the Samsung S25 Ultra, at least without a case, it was the MagSafe rings. I love MagSafe. MagSafe is such a cool thing to have. It's magnetic wireless charging, so your wireless charger never leaves its correct place and it charges more efficiently. This is really, really cool. And on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, 15 Pro Max and older iPhones, it's a big, big reason to keep using it. I have a MagSafe charger and I charge my iPhone via MagSafe every single day. And it's 6 months old, and one thing about battery life and the battery health of the iPhone, currently, it's really, really good. It's currently on its normal state, and it has still 100%. In about 6 months, I've done around 132 cycles on the battery. That's really, really good. It's a really good battery health, and it's something that I'm very, very proud of, and I'm very, very happy with. So yes, I charge it every single day on my MagSafe charger, and the battery health is still at 100%. I don't have much trouble. I simply dropped it on the MagSafe charger, and that's it. It charges. And yeah, the overall battery experience is getting so good on iOS. You can check the cycle count, you can check the manufacturer date, you can check the first use of the iPhone, what's the battery health, and then it can give you all the specs when you charge it, the time that you use it, screen time, all of that. So it's a really, really good and complete battery settings app. Yeah, the iPhone is getting much, much better at telling you the state of durability of your iPhone and how long you still have to replace the battery. Again, the battery life here was amazing, 6 months, and it still lasts me 2 days easily if I'm not a power user. I can use this phone for 2 days if I'm using it lightly, but if I'm using it very, very hard, like normally I do, photos, videos, social media, running my entire YouTube channel, email, all of that, it lasts me around 1.5 days if I want to. I can kill it one day, but I need to be recording every single time that I'm using it. Like, I need to be recording a YouTube video for my fitness channel, something like that. If not, it's still like 5 p.m. and I still have 66%. So it will probably last me throughout the whole day and we'll finish up the day with 30% maybe. I don't know. It's still an amazing battery life. For sure, for some people, a 2-day phone. And as for the cameras have been really, really good. These never disappoint. The colors are always on point. Perfect every time. Love the color accuracy. Love the color science behind it. Love the videos. To take sunset photos, to take photos with your loved one, to take photos with something that means to you. Food photos, car photos, travel photos, whatever. The iPhone delivers very, very stable photos, very beautiful photos, and photos always correct. They are not always the best, especially when you compare it to the Samsung S25 Ultra. Sometimes it gets you even better photos than the iPhone. But most of the time, it fails. And most of the time, the photos are not always the same. So sometimes you have 100% quality, and then sometimes you have 80%, and sometimes you have 70%. With the iPhone, you always have that stable 90% quality. Most of the time, it's better than the other phones. Sometimes it's worse. But what matters is consistency. And this iPhone, especially the camera, does not fail on that. The new ultra-wide lens is interesting. It's a new 40-megapixel ultra-wide lens introduced on the 16 Pro Max. And I gotta say, it was an interesting upgrade. Because at the beginning I was thinking, oh, I don't notice it. But now, whenever I look back at my older ultra-wide photos from my iPhone 15 Pro Max, from my iPhone 12 Pro Max even, the first to ever have an ultra-wide lens, I noticed the difference. I noticed the sharpness, the quality, the low-light photos are much, much better. So I'm hopeful that in the future, with the improvements to this sensor, it will become closer and closer to the main 40-megapixel main sensor that is really, really good and takes incredible, incredible shots. As for the 5x telephoto, it's the funnest lens on this combo. I love to use it. Portrait photography, building photography, landscape photography even. It's so cool to use. It gives you a complete different perspective from normally a phone. Yes, it's not as good as the Samsung S25 Ultra 100x zoom, but at the end of the day, that's a gimmick. I do really use the 25x zoom capabilities here. I do really use the 5x telephoto. Imagine, a real use case for me is whenever I'm in class, I need to zoom in on the board that is far away, or on the teacher, or something that I need to actually read, I use the phone. And it's crazy, everyone loves it, and I love it too. To study is very, very, very useful. So in the last 6 months, this phone has not failed me. From the camera, from the battery, from USB-C, from the durability of the phone, everything has checked out and totally worth the money. So if you want to grab an iPhone 16 Pro Max and you currently have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, grab it. It's a good buy. If you own an iPhone 14 Pro Max, 15 Pro Max, I would say to wait and see, because the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the newest and shiniest iPhone, coming out in September, we already have some leaks from that, and it seems it's going to be a bit of a redesign. So if you want to wait, wait. As for the rest of the reasons for me to keep using it and not switch to an Android phone, is mainly iOS and mainly FaceTime, iMessage, all of the Apple ecosystem features like Handoff, AirDrop. All of these things are very, very valuable. I also have an Apple Watch, I also have a Mac, I also have an iPad, and everything works in conjunction. That's the main reason I don't switch from the iPhone. It's so easy to use, and you have the rest of the pieces of the ecosystem. It's so seamless. That's why I don't switch from my iPhone, mainly because of the ecosystem. It's just another piece of the ecosystem, and something that is really, really valuable on it. If you remove the iPhone, you are removing the brains, the main character of the ecosystem, and it all falls apart. While if you say, oh, on the Android side you have an ecosystem too, you can build an ecosystem. Yes, you can, but it's not as seamless, it's not as easy, and it's not as easy just to simply pick up and work. It requires more work, it requires more effort, more time, something that I don't want to put on technology. For me, technology needs to be easy, simple, and accessible to everyone. That's why I love Apple, and that's why I love the Apple ecosystem, and I'm not switching from it. Even if the Samsung S25 Ultra might be a better phone, the 16 Pro Max simply is the overall better choice for me. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel. This was my 6 months review with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It has been a beast, an amazing, amazing flagship phone, and I cannot wait to compare it to another phone. Do you want to see an iPhone 16e review, the newest and shiniest iPhone? Drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel so if you don't miss it, and let me know in the comments below if you want to see that review. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.